Okay, Marionette, how do you manage currency flows for deposits and withdrawals?
I have unlimited capability to process crypto and fiat currencies. To enable this functionality, I have an advanced component called Payment Gateway Module to streamline communication with currencies from different external sources. Payment Gateway accepts their varying parameters and settings for communication and converts them into a unified format. Unification of variable formats for Payment Gateway is done by creating payment interfaces that are dedicated to the currency source. Currency sources can be multiple banks, payment processing services, or blockchain nodes. Considering that all inbound and outbound transactions are processed by the Payment Gateway module, the unified format introduced by payment interfaces enables my accounting engine to process data from unlimited sources and update accounting records.
Interesting. I agree that external sources all have different API protocols and there is no unified standard for interacting with them. How do payment interfaces interact with banks, payment processors, and other fiat processing services?
For fiat currencies, I can interact with an infinite amount of bank APIs for transfers and Visa MasterCard transactions, as well as payment processors like PayPal, Stripe, and other services. Each fiat payment interface is configured individually, and communication with the source takes place via their API. Once this API has been configured in a dedicated payment interface, I process the data transmitted by this API and update my accounting records and user balances.
Simple enough. How do payment interfaces interact with blockchain nodes and cryptocurrency transactions?
For cryptocurrencies, I can interact with an infinite amount of blockchain nodes. I scan blockchain ledger records and identify transactions relevant to my users. To do this, I generate a blockchain address for every user requesting a deposit. Then, I scan every new block in blockchain ledger records to detect transactions related to the addresses I generated. Once I make a match between the two, I trigger a collection to the system wallet and update balances of matching users for the amount collected. This may sound simple, but it gets quite complicated considering how flexible my settings have to be for admin operators. Deposit and withdrawal conditions have to be adaptable to business needs, while tokens and multi-currencies add an increasing degree of difficulty. But this is a subject of its own, and I will gladly get back to this topic with more details in a future video.
Yeah, this sounds like it needs a dedicated conversation. I'm very curious to understand how you interact with UTXO and EVM blockchains. In the meantime, can you tell me more about the Payment Gateway module? It seems like a pretty advanced component.
Quite advanced indeed. While payment interfaces act as dedicated bridges between external and internal services, Payment Gateway is the hub. It is responsible for accepting, managing, and distributing data between its payment interfaces, database, and other core services. This adaptable design makes me quite future-proof. The ability to adapt to unforeseeable demands offers unprecedented protection to my accounting capabilities. This flexibility allows my accounting engine to stay currency agnostic without having to conform to each and every unique configuration. All digital assets and their sources are processed in a predictable manner, regardless if it's a national fiat currency, crypto coin, token, stock share, or NFT. I receive data and format it to the language most understandable to my accounting engine. This is the language of debits and credits, assets and liabilities, expenses and profits.
This is great information. Thank you for sharing. Give me some time to process and let's get back to this conversation.